Welcome to Electrified. It's your host, Dylan Loomis. So first up today, I'm sure you've seen by now, but yes, Elon did actually sell Tesla stock to fund the Twitter purchase, so let's run through the quick details. There were 8 Form 4s in total. Elon started this set of sales with 172.6 million shares. He sold 9.63 million, or around 5.59% of his overall stake in Tesla. He still, however, has 162.9 million shares remaining, worth around $149 billion at today's prices. The highest price lot was $999, the lowest price lot was $822, and based on a median price of $910, Elon sold around $8 billion worth of Tesla stock. What's funny here though is that the market ended up selling about $150 billion worth of Tesla shares in anticipation of Elon selling this $8 billion. So as I said on Twitter, we're all going to make it. One thing I want to be really clear about, a lot of people out there are saying that, well, because Elon took this $8 billion out of Tesla and put it into Twitter, that means Elon thinks Twitter is a better investment than Tesla. To this argument, I would vehemently disagree. Elon has already said he's not doing this for financial reasons, not for economic purposes. He's really doing it because he believes it's the right thing to do for humanity. So just in case you see that take out there on the internet, in my opinion, that's a very misguided argument. Think about Mark Cuban. This argument is basically like saying, well, because Mark Cuban decided to use some of his money to own the Dallas Mavericks, that now means that he thinks buying the Dallas Mavericks is a better investment than any one of his many Shark Tank deals. It's just not the case. And to Fred or anybody at Electric that happens to see this, no hard feelings. However, I think this is a terrible take. Fred says that removes a lot of value in the commitment of Tesla's largest individual shareholder not to sell shares, which has helped Tesla a lot over the years. Talking about Elon now selling shares, but he has claimed over the years to be the first one in, last one out. He continues, it's hard to see how this aligns with Tesla's much more important mission to accelerate the transition to sustainable energy and why he's willing to negatively affect Tesla's stock to pursue that. To the first part, in my humble opinion, Elon has earned the right to do whatever he would like to with his Tesla shares, especially a small percentage like we talked about, under 6%, to fund something that to him is very important. So to Elon, more power to him. And to the second part, we know that Elon has other motives than just accelerating the world to sustainable energy. Yes, that's a huge part of it, but he also wants the future to be good and exciting. And as technology advances and makes things like Optimus the bot possible, that's going to broaden Elon's scope of what he wants to do for the future of humanity. So not every action he has to take is going to be related to sustainable energy alone. And most importantly, I'm kind of shocked and appalled at how many people are so laser focused on the short term, saying things like this is hurting Tesla's share price. Well, in the long run, this is literally a blip on the radar. A few months from now, toward the end of this year, most people will forget this even happened and will be on to bigger and better things. And last night, Elon confirmed no further Tesla sales planned after today. Things could always change. However, for now, we will operate under these assumptions. So this overhang for Tesla stock should be lifted. Still plenty of macro concerns and other things weighing on the stock, but this is good news. Unless, of course, you were like me and rooting for Tesla stock to dip into the 700s. And a silver lining, I have to say, I am pretty excited to see what Elon does with Twitter. And this morning, we start to get some detail of what that might be. He's talking about monetized tweets, and he already has a new CEO lined up. Elon talked about new ways to make money from tweets that contain important information or go viral. He also brought up the idea of charging a fee when a third-party website wants to quote or embed a tweet from verified individuals or organizations. And while Elon has not yet named the new CEO, we know that there will be plenty of employee shakeup when Elon takes over later this year. If of course everything goes through and is finalized, but at this point it seems very likely. ARK Invest released a new podcast on Tesla just this morning, so here are the very best clips. However, I do have one or two things to push back on afterward.
And our top line forecast for electric vehicles is that sales will increase roughly eightfold from 4.8 million units in 2021 to 40 million units in 2026. And that's a global number. And that'd be a roughly 53% compound annual growth rate each year. And what's really driving this is battery cost declines. And so we use Wright's Law, and this is across many different themes and technologies, but for batteries, it's so important because the battery is the single largest cost component of the vehicle. And so Wright's law states that for every cumulative doubling of production, you get a fixed percent cost decline. And for lithium ion batteries, that's roughly 28%. And so we think that by 2023, a electric vehicle is going to reach sticker price parity. So that's the upfront cost the consumer sees with a like for like gas powered car. And at that point, it should really be a no brainer. And we think that we're going to see a huge shift in demand towards electric vehicles.
We think that the same principle will apply within the other application of AI, which is helping robots move through the physical world. And Tesla has really unique data assets in that they've seen billions of miles across their fleet and use that to train their own models for full self-driving and autonomy. We think there's actually an opportunity for Tesla to make those models openly available so that other developers, other companies can actually build applications and products on top of Tesla's models. This is what we call a foundation model. So based on our research and big ideas, we think the opportunity for foundation models could be worth about $25 trillion in terms of enterprise value by 2030. And we think the market will bifurcate. There will be models that are used to solve problems in sort of digital native context. And so these are models like GPT-3 and DALL-E that can help edit text or manipulate images or generate stories. And then we think there'll be a different use case, which is helping robots move through the physical world. And we think that'll be a different set of foundation models. So while Tesla hasn't actually openly discussed this strategy, we do think it's a possibility, especially given Elon's excitement around AI and given their unique data assets, especially given their investments in compute. And so we're very excited to see how that opportunity could manifest.
So when we talk about autonomous cars, they're electric autonomous cars. Ultimately, why we're so interested in autonomous driving is because we think that it could dramatically lower the cost to get around. So an autonomous taxi could price as low as 25 cents per mile. That's less than half of the cost of driving a personal car in the US, a new personal car. That's really dramatic. It's going to bring a bunch of people into the ride-hail market that are not customers today because of that extremely low cost point. Of course, cars will be a lot safer too, but ultimately we think cost is going to drive demand. And we think that this is such a large opportunity. On a revenue basis, the total addressable market is about $11 trillion. And that's really our updated work on autonomy. So it could be as cheap as 25 cents per mile for a ride, but we also see a lot of demand at the 50 cents to $1 range for existing customers today that are either traveling around for their own personal needs or for work-related travel. We've done some analysis on how customers value their time to dimension those price points. Ultimately, we think that the platform providers or the companies that own the technology stack that allow cars to be autonomous could enjoy an enterprise value of $11 to $12 trillion by 2026. So this is really a massive opportunity and one that Tesla is uniquely well set up to participate in, as it's both a vehicle manufacturer and potentially an autonomous platform provider.
And so originally when we were doing research on electric vehicles, we were saying, what is the capital efficiency or how much money needs to be spent for an incremental unit of capacity to be built in the auto industry as it stands? And that number was $14,000. And so that's kind of what we had used and said, okay, this is the baseline if Tesla matches industry average. And so if you go and you look in the model and our blog, you can see that when Tesla first started ramping the Model 3, their capital efficiency was far, far worse. They were at roughly $84,000 per incremental unit of capacity. But they dramatically improved. And in 2021, they were down to $7,700 per incremental unit of capacity, which is pretty remarkable, right? Already half of what the industry average was.
My first pushback is ARK being so reliant on Wright's Law when they analyze battery costs. So Wright's Law says that with every cumulative doubling of production, costs will fall by a constant percentage. The main issue here is this is not factoring in the raw materials costs or the supply chain issues that we currently have in the battery material space. And if you look at most battery cost curves over the last decade or so, they look like this. Earlier in the decade, prices were coming down rapidly, but over the last few years, things have slowed down significantly, and at certain points on a smaller time frame, the prices are actually going up depending on the type of chemistry in the pack and the materials used. Here we have a few updates to the Tesla website. First, the mobile connector is now officially $200. There are two different styles. One includes two adapters, and interestingly enough, the price does not change regardless of which one you select. However, both of them are currently out of stock. The price of the wall connector has also been reduced from $475 down to $400. And we thought this one would be coming, and here it is. On the Tesla configurator page, if you scroll down to the bottom, you can now see the option to choose charging options, the wall connector or the mobile connector. And the mobile connector has an estimated delivery of between August and October, which confirms our thesis that yes, they were having supply chain issues getting these in stock. Here we have a Tesla over-the-air update. Apparently in track mode, the speed was not displaying the units like miles per hour or kilometers per hour, so Tesla is going to issue a free over-the-air software update to fix this, affecting around 50,000 vehicles. I want to point out the article said the company is pulling about 48,000 Model 3s. They're not pulling anything, they're doing an OTA update. In case you see this hi-fi badge on a Spotify song, it's just a software glitch. This could be a song that played in Tidal because this is the Tidal hi-fi badge, but it could just be your car thinking it's a Tidal song based on metadata or maybe something else. So false alarm here. This image was taken at one of the pilot sites for third-party vehicles to use Tesla superchargers in Norway. Tesla has installed video cameras to do market research to track the charging experience of customers and to inform Tesla if there are any areas that could be improved. The cameras will not record audio and they will blur out the actual individuals. This is a great move by Tesla, as I'm sure they already know, but they'll be reminded of situations like this and Audi having to park like this to use a supercharger, so they'll learn new ways to hopefully fix things like this. I thought this was cool. Giga Berlin held a girls' day where they could go to the factory and shadow effectively some of the women working at Giga Berlin in different fields. Young women engineers, mathematicians, and chemists from the Tesla team talked about working in their field and discussed what it means to work as a woman in the automotive industry. The Vice Prime Minister of Ukraine said Tesla Powerwall tech will power up 2 ambulant clinics in Ukraine. New solar panels and integrated battery systems will not only use renewable energy, but also store it for backup protection. We are grateful to Tesla and Elon Musk for the continuous support. In response to this video, Elon said, "The car knows that something is there, just doesn't know that they're horses yet, but it will. Dogs, cats, and many other animals will also be recognized." No surprise here, but the CEO of Volvo has said that there will be a battery supply scarcity heading into this decade. Now, they have partnered with Northvolt to build a new battery facility. However, they're not looking to start construction on this facility until next year, and it's said to have up to a 50 gigawatt hour annual capacity, which is about half of what Tesla is planning at Giga Austin. Volvo also said this partnership with Northvolt would help them start to make their own chemistries and batteries in-house. However, as we know, they are pretty far behind, so they better pick it up. That'll do it for today. Please take a second to like the video if you did. Hope you guys have a wonderful and a safe weekend, and a huge thank you to all of my Patreon supporters.